You're watching Morning at NTV.
Well, in a now published elephant Chadondo Eastern Member of Parliament, that is Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, who is also a presidential aspirant, warns that without strong public services, Uganda will remain vulnerable to the next epidemic or pandemic, extreme climate event and the likes. Well, he says that health, water, sanitation and all other sectors must be transformed into robust, life-enhancing government services. Well, today we are having Robert Kyagulanyi with us. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Andrew. How have you been?
I'm holding up. Thank you so much for staying home and staying safe.
Thank you so much for staying safe, even if you're working, essentially.
Absolutely, at the front lines. Now, in your article, you lay out a plan for Uganda about COVID-19 and also discuss on how to overcome the pandemic. I want to understand this, Honorable. What prompted this kind of writing down?
In a time where we are, everybody is necessary and all ideas are necessary. And the least that I and my team could do is to share our thoughts with government, and hopefully government can pick a few or all of them, because we present these options for the benefit of all of us.
I understand that. Now tell us about the plan for the post-COVID-19 Uganda. What's the plan like from your perspective?
For starters, let us deal with this situation as it is. Let us be in real time before we even think of post-COVID-19. The way we handle the situation right now will in a great way determine where we're going to be after the COVID-19. I think for starters, we need to come together as Ugandans, put politics out of this, and marshal all our abilities in the effort to save our people. We need to embrace all ideas that come from within our groupings and ideas that come from without. As the People Power Movement, on the 24th of March, we proposed 10 suggestions to government. We are glad that government took up some of them, but we would be glad if government would take up all of them. Among them was relief items that government really took up and is having an effort of giving relief, food and essential items to the Ugandans, although it has not been rolled out to the extent that it should be. We suggested that government cuts and suspends some taxes like mobile money and OTT to make life much more safer for our people, since paper money is also another avenue for the spread and also lack of information. We suggested among those 10 proposals, a relaxation on rent and people that are operating on loans. We are glad that government and other institutions like the banks and telecom companies have heeded to that. We hope that government will move ahead to embrace not only our ideas, but ideas that come from other leaders. Now, post-COVID-19, we are not very sure where exactly COVID-19 is going to leave us, and that pushes us to think about now and handling the situation now, because it will in a great way determine where we'll be after COVID-19.
Okay, on the first proposal in the non-essential financing for government agencies be redirected to the COVID-19 fight, but these are agencies we need to get the country back on its track. Won't this also bring them to their own knees?
Come again, please.
One of the first proposals in your writing is that non-essential financing for government agencies be redirected to the COVID-19 fight. So the ones that you feel that are not essential, they should be redirected to the COVID-19, per se the Minister of Health. But these are the same agencies we really need to have the country get back on its feet. Don't you think just redirecting the funds won't put these agencies on their knees again?
In a period of essential need, we should put emphasis to the essentials. It would be foolhardy for us to neglect the most important things while putting emphasis on things that we can do without. For example, so many funds, even amidst this COVID-19 epidemic, you see we are directing funds to things that I think we can be able to do without, things like billboard. You notice that for a long time we've had a high public expenditure on administration. I think it is high time that we squeeze other areas to focus on essential zones like the healthcare and the economy.
I understand that. Now, you want government to use NSSF savings, Honorable, and this is to guarantee rent payments for Ugandans. How will this work? Walk me through this.
Come again, please.
You want government to use NSSF savings to guarantee rent payments for Ugandans. I really want to understand, how does this work?
Government is going to direct funds, right? Not necessarily just from the NSSF. Yes, it has been a call that people get some of their NSSF payments because these times are hard. But also, there are many expenditures that we are having as a nation in zones that are not, all that essential. Those are areas that we are calling upon government to rechannel the funds and put them where they are most needed. At this time, we need, most importantly, to make life comfortable and livable, especially for our health workers and other essential workers. I think we should put that first.
Okay. How do we fund now all these ideas? Remember, most of our businesses are currently on their knees. Where is the money to fund all these great ideas supposed to come from? Where do we find the funds now?
I'm sorry, ask again.
Honorable, how do we fund these ideas? Kindly note that businesses currently are on their knees, and we're wondering, where do we find the money to fund all these brilliant ideas you're sharing?
We pass supplementary budgets every now and then. The money that is taken to patronage, the money that the president uses to give out in handouts every now and then. We cannot have a problem like this and continue to ask where the money is going to come from. The money is there, and it's a question of allocating them. It's a question of allocating the monies to where they are most needed.
Okay. Just a quick one here. Given that government, or actually the president, banned distribution of groceries to people, how has people power reached out to the people? I've actually seen you being on the law of that. How are you holding up?
Yeah, it was necessary. It is Ubuntu. It is our African culture to come to the aid of our neighbors. And as people power, we rolled out immediately in our effort of giving relief food items to our vulnerable people, the elderly, the persons with disabilities, and other such people, for example, our foreign comrades' families. Unfortunately, the government stopped us. Much as we agree with the government observing means and measures to avoid the spread of this disease. But like we said before, that the government should instead have come up with standard operating procedures to make sure our people keep safe, but still to allow us to be able to reach them. However, we didn't give up because we altered to have relief items, food and other essentials delivered by border borders. We also went ahead and presented what we could to the National Task Force, and we hope, like all other relief items that come from various individuals and companies in Uganda, and I thank them. Our only hope is that these items are spread nationwide, because this pandemic is affecting all Ugandans nationwide. However, we continue to observe health measures while making and continuing the effort of reaching out to our people. And I thank in this way all our friends, the Freedom Border, our friends in the diaspora, and our fellow Ugandans here that have come to that aid. We continue with it, and we hope government and all other people that are concerned do the same.
Well, Bobi Wine, move to empower the population to afford improved standards and cost of living by the citizens. How do we empower the citizens post-COVID-19 to get back on their knees? What are some of the key nuggets the population needs to look out for after COVID-19?
Well, COVID-19 has come as a plague to us, but I hope that at the end of this, it is going to teach us, we the citizens of Uganda and those that rule over us, that we are all vulnerable. I hope it teaches us how to respect our own country and put it to a standard that can benefit all of us, the rich and the poor, the powerful and the vulnerable. So COVID-19 is going to create a need, a general need for everybody. The people of Uganda hopefully will remember that actually this is not just a matter of politics, but a matter of getting involved in how they're being governed and how their resources are being put to their use. We know that government moving forward would do good to clamp down further on corruption, you know, to make sure the resources, as major as they will be, allocated for the benefit of our people. We hope to see better governance, but again, this is not just going to come from the government. It is going to be demanded and gotten by the people of Uganda. It is my prayer that the Ugandans are all going to see the need to get involved, because if we all get involved and demand for better, we are certainly going to get better. It is a very bad thing, but it came at the right time to teach us what we must do.
Well, thank you so much about that. The internal efforts to boost the local investment and enterprise development. What could be your approach to this as a leader? How best can we boost the local investment and enterprise development post COVID-19?
Well, I think government should empower the local investors and the local producers moving forward. The same incentives that are given to the foreign investors should be given to the local investors, because in times like this, they are all we have. We should empower local talent. We should empower local innovation, so that in the times to come, Uganda can sustain itself by its own people. We should also empower local production, so that at least we change the trend. We start exporting more than we import, so that we can be able to earn more than we spend.
Bobi Wine, thank you so much about that. Let's look at the health sector here. At the outbreak of COVID-19, a lot of perspectives changed. What picture did this paint to you with regards to our health sector? What do you make of our health sector with all this pandemic in motion?
Well, Andrew, for a very long time, we have been crying to the government to improve funding for the healthcare system, to improve working conditions for the health workers, but this has all fallen on deaf ears. It is known that our leaders, the elite class, the politicians, they always go outside Uganda for their health, for even the most minor of their healthcare needs. And that left our healthcare system to rot. Moving forward, excuse me please. Yeah, moving forward, I hope that the government of Uganda will invest more in the healthcare system. Moving forward, I hope we start looking at our health workers, the doctors as the nurses, and the nurses as important as we look at the generals and the RDCs. We maybe have got to learn to major on majors and to minor on minors. Right now, as this epidemic continues to ravage the world and Uganda as well, I hope we even start in this period to improve the conditions, the working conditions of our health workers. I even believe that the health workers should be given an allowance because in these times they're working overtime, and we can even project more busy and stressful times for them in the days to come.
talking about family, you as a leader, you've been at home for all these days, you've stayed at home. How have you managed, especially with your children, how have you baby stepped them through this entire situation, and what do they make of COVID-19?
Well, I think that question would be more ideal for an ordinary Ugandan. I'm lucky that I'm a member of parliament who gets a salary from parliament, and I'm fairly, you know, settled financially.
Okay.
My only need is to teach the children and those that I can be able to communicate to take this more serious. But looking at the ordinary Ugandan, who we as ordinary Ugandans have a saying, Zenkola India, meaning working for a meal a day. Looking at an ordinary Ugandan who is a border rider, who is a taxi worker, who is a market vendor, one can only imagine the strain they are going through with their families, and that is the reason why we continue to call upon government to relax the restrictions. For example, our inability to help the people. If government gave standard operating procedures, but let people be able to help their neighbors, I'm sure very many individuals and companies in Uganda would love to donate relief food items to their fellow Ugandans. But again, they are stopped by the presidential directive because they would be technically committing attempted murder, according to what the president said. So I think we should put politics out of this and let every Ugandan, let every effort be utilized in these desperate times.
Agulanyi, your last words to Ugandans as we wind up this conversation?
My last word to Ugandans is that we will certainly get through this. Everybody is necessary. Everybody's idea is important. Everybody's help is important. Let us not put politics out of this. Let us not be divided. This is a time where we must be most united as Ugandans. We are in this together, not only as Ugandans, not only as Africans, but as human beings. Let us, first of all, teach everybody. Let us send out information. Let us sensitize each other. Because we as Ugandans, the biggest part we can play in the fight against the COVID-19 is to stop its spread. I dread to imagine a time when the COVID-19 has spread through Uganda. Our healthcare system is ailing. So all we can do is to stop the spread, and we certainly can stop the spread. Okay. So let us all play our part. Let us be our brothers and our sisters keepers. And my very final word, today is the birthday of the Kabaka of Buganda, Sabasajja Ronald Muwenda Mutebi. Sabasajja nange kankozesa omukisa guno sebo okwagaliza amazaalibwa amalungi gaze mu mbeera mbi naye gajja kwongera otugatta. Yoga Mukama akutukuumire. And to all Ugandans, let us hold together. Let us be brothers and sisters. To the leaders, do not politicize this. Let everybody play a role, because this is important. And very finally, to the Ugandans in China, to the Africans in China, we are with you. We are rooting for you. It is very unfortunate that you're being treated like this. Mainly because you're black. We've seen videos that are very disturbing. I'm in touch. I've written to various heads of state in Africa here, and I'm also working with other friends, including the Black Lines in Atlanta. We want to repatriate. We want to get special planes to repatriate the Africans in China, and we are in talks with different governments. Once we have a country that allows in those Africans, we want to get them away from China, because in 2020 we cannot let any black man be disrespected on account of their skin. We are human beings. We have more than 50,000 Chinese living here in Uganda, and more than 1 million Chinese living in Africa. So I'm also calling upon the Chinese administration to rein on their officials, to reign on their people. Okay. The government of Uganda, the African Union, the international community, they should reign on China and have them respect the rights of black people, the rights of Africans, the rights of Ugandans that are in China. We are with you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you.
Ugandans, we are together. Africans, we are together. We will certainly go through this, inshallah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kyagulanyi. Well, that was a great interview we had with Honorable Kyagulanyi. He's live at Magere. He has actually highlighted on a couple of issues. And thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. We'll take a break and we'll be back shortly.